Hi, my name is Susa. I am your English teacher coach to take you from fear of speaking English to confidence to speak English. So, this is a process that we can walk through with clear steps. And so, today we're going to address one very simple yet common problem is that a lot of my students throughout the 25 years that I've taught English have told me that they want to learn English, but they just don't have the time. They just don't have the time. So it's difficult to create more time, but there are ways to make that time within the limited time and without it being too hard on you. Because we want to learn, but also have fun at the same time. And not that it becomes a burden, but more like an added fun to your life. So I'm going to walk you through 4 steps that you can do to make that time in a relaxed way into your daily life. So the first tip that I have is to use what we call passive time. So we all have passive time when our hands are busy. For example, washing the dishes, folding the laundry, mopping the floor, um, driving the car, but our brains are not fully stimulated. So in that moment, you could integrate some English. So as you're mopping the floor, you could be listening to a podcast. So I recommend that you choose a podcast that talks about something that you're interested in. So whatever that is in your native language, choose a podcast. And if possible, that it be a length of like 30 minutes max, so it's easy to pick it up, put it down. But I mean, really up to you. So you're basically using the dead time, the passive time that you have that you wouldn't just use for any intellectual activity. You're using that to learn English. You're listening to a podcast. Maybe you're thinking about the words that you see around yourself, wondering what is that word, okay, naming things around you. So you're really utilizing the passive time. Podcasts or TV shows are the best. TV show really needs a little bit your attention, but some people just listen to them. So utilizing your passive time, podcast, right? The second tip I have for you is habit stacking. So you want to take a habit that you already have, let's say drinking coffee in the morning, and then you stack another habit to it. So the first already exists, so you just add another. So for example, you could decide to read one article, that's not a whole lot, about something that you love. That's always the best. So if you love cooking, you could read a cooking article. If you love dogs, it could be a dog care article. So as you're drinking your coffee, you're casually reading your article. It could be a book too. You could choose a book that you love and just go easy on it, like 1 page per day. Don't put the requirement too high so that you don't feel like it's an obligation. It's more like, okay, I have a fun habit, I'm stacking another one to it. Maybe if you're used to watching TV with your morning coffee, so switch to an English speaking program and that's it, it will come. So the tip number 2 is stacking one habit, adding another to it, right? Kind of comes along because you're doing it anyways. So the third tip I have for you is that you can use your time a little bit more wisely. So if you are one of us who tends to go on their device when they're waiting for their dentist appointment, or you're waiting for your bus to come, so you'd go scroll on social media. So now what you can do is you can download an app called Anki or Quizlet. I'll link them down here. And they show you flashcards. A flashcard is a picture, and then there is the word and some explanation. Sometimes they give you the pronunciation too, and then you can learn through that. So instead of mindlessly scrolling you know, the millionth cute dog video. Nothing bad about them, but you can use your time a little bit more wisely to go a little bit more from your fear of speaking English to confidence to speak. And you can feel better about yourself because you worked towards your goal, right? Once again, you want to go easy, relaxed. Maybe you'll do both. You'll do a little bit of flashcards and then you'll do a little bit of whatever completely entertainment you want to do. And then lastly, the tip number 4, this is narrating your life. So you can integrate English learning into your daily life by narrating it. So you can talk to yourself out loud, like, okay, I'm gonna mop the floor. After that, I'm gonna dip the mop into the water and then squeeze it out. And then I'm gonna go hit another part of the floor. And you don't have to know all the words, but the more you go look for them, the more your brain is stimulated. You might want to go and check later when you're done mopping, like, how do you say that and that in English? And that will like casually add to your vocabulary. So you're narrating your life. You can also narrate it in your head, so you can think of things. You can walk down the street and go like, that building looks run down, or that building looks renovated. So you can think of words, and if you really get triggered, sparked, whatever, you can go then and check. You can, for example, say the word in your native language and see what is that exact word. How do you say run down? How do we say renovated? So you're narrating your life. You're speaking it out loud at home, probably not on the street, and in public, or if you don't feel like you want to speak to yourself, you can think in your head. You can also talk to your pet. You can talk to your dog or your cat in English, so that will practice your speaking abilities. Right, so these are 4 little things that we can do that seem very basic, simple, but yet if you apply those into your daily life, you can gain a lot of useful practice, and then that fear of opening your mouth and speaking English will just kind of go in the background, because you will have thought about those things. So you've used your passive time, you listen to a podcast at the same time as you did the dishes, you will have stacked your habit of coffee with reading an article, you will have looked at a couple of flashcards per day, learned some new vocabulary, and you will have thought about things as you encounter them in your life, like, how would I say that, or what am I doing right now? So yeah, and then sooner than you realize, English has become a more natural part of your everyday life without really having to sit down and dedicate 1 hour per day or whatever. So yeah, I hope that this helps. If you want to see more of useful tips, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.